that there's 40 million boomers. They're all going to go through the same kind of problems.
Mm-hmm. So did you kill your parents as a mercy killing to put them out of their misery? At what point did they become deceased?
I need to see a calendar. Sometime August 2017.
Did they struggle as you did it?
Oh my God. Okay. Y'all. I hadn't even heard about this case. And several of you, Dr. Barry, shout out Dr. Barry, was like, I want to see you react to this. I Googled it, looked it up. Mouth has been on the floor ever since, okay? Now, if you're curious, who is this dude? What is this mercy killing? What are we talking about? I'm about to tell you. Let's do a quick 60-second overview of this case. So in the interview we're getting ready to watch, Lorenz Kraus explains very directly, sometimes evasively, a little bit of both, how he ended the lives of his own parents and what he frames was an act of mercy. Now, he describes his parents' declining health, their fears of living with Alzheimer's, and his belief that he was carrying out a duty to spare their suffering. Now, eventually he will admit, as we will hear here shortly, to him suffocating his father with his hands and strangling his mother with a rope, and then burying them on the property. Now, he had reached out to the media before doing this. According to reports from AP News and Times Union, he emailed a 2-page statement that he does not want to call a manifesto, along with a photo and his phone number to multiple outlets, including the station where he later gave this televised confession. Now, in this so-called little political Not-a-Manifesto that he wrote, he outlines his ideas for government reform and included a shocking request for immunity in exchange for questions. So that's the quick overview. Now, what we're going to be doing is talking about all the little things. The interview that he did, okay? And then also the one that he did the next day from jail. Yeah, as you can imagine, it didn't go the way he wanted to. I have my own opinions about what's really going on here, and we'll talk about them as we go. So go ahead, grab your puppy, grab your coffee, grab your sofa, and let's buckle up and get into today's video.
Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad, sipping from the cup at hey, hey.
Now hold on everybody, let's do a quick sofa sidebar now. Keep in mind, ain't no cop, ain't no doctor, ain't no lawyer, ain't no therapist, ain't none of that fancy credentialed stuff, okay? Only credentials we got up in here is my sass, and this sofa. Now keep in mind also, I'm just giving my opinions on very public information, so do your own research, come to your own opinions, and drop them off in the comment section. And while you're down there, if you do like what you see here at the Sofa Squad, drop a little like, drop a little comment, drop a little share. It helps the channel out immensely. Now let's get edition. Hello Sofa Squad, and welcome back to the sofa. We got a sofa. We got a Paul. My name is Paul if you're new to the channel. If you're not new to the channel, my name's still Paul. Okay. So I already told you what it's going to be about today. Let's go ahead and get into those first clips.
What happened to your parents?
My mother wrote me a note, which the police must have now, describing her walking across Whitehall Road, not Whitehall, Wolf Road, and she fell down on her face, and she had, when I saw her a week or so later, yellow and green, black and blue marks from this, and she wrote that down, and that was a situation that became a problem, because when elderly start to fall down, the time comes that they start to, beginning of the end.
Now here's the thing. I say all the time too. So whatever, get it? Couple of things here. First of all, that was like pulling teeth to get that statement out. For someone who is seemingly so big on government reform, laws this, laws that, he is scared to death. He is so nervous. Mind you, this is all optional. Okay. This whole situation that he's in is optional. This didn't have to be what it is, right? He could have gone to the jail to turn himself in. He could have done this. He could have done that. Now he's claiming he wants to be doing this, little government thing and We'll get to my take on it as we go, but I do not think this is really what's going on. I think he cooked this story up because this took place in 2017. He's been collecting their checks for a long time, okay? I think that he's cooked this up over time. right? I do not think that he did a mercy killing in the very beginning. Now, Lorenzo will try to make this about a mercy killing, okay? So this is what he is going to try and sell. So he's going to want to create a picture of just how dire things were with his, quote, boomer parents.
My father also had cataract surgery, and he lost his vision to double vision, so he couldn't be he couldn't drive. So they were losing their independence and so forth. And
I got it. Okay, got it, everybody. Now that he clarified that, y'all, yep, that was the only solution. Okay, just take him out back. Okay, yep, couldn't see real good. Cataract surgery, not an option, going out back. Okay, you see, this man is scared to death to try and tell the story, right? And I'm like, oh, honey, no, do it with your full chest out. Tell us again. Tell us what a wonderful son you are, right? Now here, this is not to discount, does anybody want to be in a situation of becoming a caretaker and this, that, and the other? I mean, obviously you don't want to have to see parents or friends or family or in that types of, to the point in their health where they need that. That's rough. I understand that. And this also gets into a conversation of thoughts, laws, stances, theories on, how do we say it, assisted unaliving, right? And things of this nature and, end of life decisions, this, that, and the other. However, and that's all fine and dandy, right? You can have that conversation over there. It's a side dish right now. I do not think that's what was at the heart of this, okay? I think that this was an incredibly selfish man who he was over it and he wanted to get their money and maybe, type from his basement. I don't know, right? But I do know that his story doesn't add up, and I think he's cooked this up over the years, and this is what he's going to try and sell. And he wants to make a point out of it. And he's gone deep down the rabbit hole. He'll get into some stuff here, political stuff, and I'm like, oh, he's down the rabbit hole. So he's thinking he can just, get out here and wheel and deal and do this and that. And I'm like, oh, no, honey, it doesn't work that way. Now, he'll go on to talk about how each of his parents have siblings, family members, all who have Alzheimer's and can't care for themselves, and what that life would potentially look like.
They put you in a bed, they put catheters into you, they rip your teeth out to try to keep you, the whole 9 yards. So this is in the back of my mind.
Real good. Yes, I'm glad you clarified that. I would love to know, what did he think was going to be the reaction? A round of applause? I mean, again, I'm like, the dramatics of it. He thinks he's doing something, okay? He thinks he ate with this, right? As kids would say. I don't know, maybe that's an old saying at this point. He thinks he ate with this. He's like, oh yeah, I'm going to get up here. I'm going to do this now. The things people will do for attention these days. This is insane. What happened is he killed his parents, he collected that money, and then he had to come up with a reason for it. It's just nothing more, nothing less. And the stories that these people cook, I'll give him some points for creativity, right? This is a new one. I'm going to do a thing and then go on the news and confess. Now, he promptly got arrested outside the news station from this, right? And I personally think he felt like a jack, the next day in that orange suit doing an interview, thinking, I thought I was going to go home. Right? No, honey, you don't do this right here. And then go on the news and make a jack, out of the local police. They were thrilled to put the cuffs on him, I'm sure. Now, he will go on to talk about how it's not just his parents' health decline that has bothered him, but also his sister's battle and eventual loss to cancer.
The police know about my sister and having to see my sister die from cancer. I was 16, she was 14. Go through 9 months or so of the agony of cancer patients.
Bless his little heart. He's seen so much in his lifetime. Give him a cookie. Give him a cookie. Again, he tells on himself through some of this language. And again, ain't no, expert, any of that stuff. But the way he's talking about the cancer thing with his sister, it's more like, I had to suffer watching her. That really did a number on me. I didn't want to do that again with my parents. It was best to just smother them and save us all from that. And that's where I'm like, yeah, that's the energy he's giving. Again, this is why it's an ill-cooked plan. I think that if that was truly the thing, now he'll talk about, we'll get into it a little bit, what he says happened with the money, right? Because he's got an excuse for that too. It wasn't about the money, it wasn't about this. Okay, who does this? So it wasn't about that. You're trying to prove a point? I don't think so. Maybe he couldn't stand them. Maybe they were mean to him. Maybe he didn't want to take care of it. Who knows? Now, notice how when he's directly confronted with what he did, he will not answer directly. Keep in mind that this entire situation also was totally made by him, like I said earlier. He could have just gone and turned himself in, but he didn't. He chose to go publicly this way.
So did you kill your parents as a mercy killing to put them out of their misery?
One of the things that's funny is he thought he was going to be smart, and he'll continually refer to this manifesto. We're going to call it a manifesto. He at the end says, no, it's not a manifesto, but we're just going to call it that because that's what my brain's latched onto. So he'll be like, oh, it's in the 2-page manifesto. It's in the 2-page manifesto. And the reporter's like, you didn't say how you killed him in the 2-page manifesto. The reporter pulls the confession out of this man, right? He went in there thinking he's not going to say any of this stuff, and he slowly lets it all out. And that's why you see him super nervous and stuttering and falling all over himself, because you know he sat here and cooked this idea up. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna show him. Yeah, I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna own this. Yeah, I'm gonna do immunity for questions. People are gonna want to know my story. And it's like, honey, you're just a headline today. That's it. Nobody cares, right? I mean, obviously the people who cared about his family and whatnot, but the little point he's trying to make is what I'm talking about. Nobody cares. Nobody's listening. Really? Seriously? You know what it reminds me of, now that I think about it, saying it out loud? You know what I think he wants to do? And I might get the name wrong here. What's that kid's name? Luigi, that killed the healthcare guy. Y'all know what I'm talking about? And how that kind of became this like political, not political, but like a little bit political, but like a social commentary of some people being like, oh, you know, great, took one for the team. And other people are like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. That whole kind of thing. And that spark of healthcare and blah, 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 all that, right? I think that he wanted this. And again, this is not to say that there's discussions that could take place around some of the themes that he's talking about. Assisted unaliving, end of life care, taking that control into your, you know, hey, I'm going to be suffering. I would like to go out this way instead of that. Legitimate conversations, right? But I do not think that is the case here. He killed them in cold blood. That's just my opinion.
You can be honest with us.
I know. I'll leave that for the statement that I put on your website.
The statement doesn't mention that.
I know.
The statement does not mention that.
Right.
I want to hear from you.
Yeah.
What did you do to your parents?
I buried them in their property.
You buried them in the backyard of that house in Albany.
Right.
Okay, now notice this. It's not in there. What I just said. It's not in there. It's not in there. What did you do to your parents? I buried them in the backyard. Okay, so where are we going with that? He does not want to say that he killed them. Now, you will hear in the coming clips where the reporter, a job to him, he gets the confession out. He gets him to say it. He gets him to do this. Because again, this is my thing right here. I'm like, dude, why are you here? You're here to make a point. You wrote your little 2-page, poem, what it manifested, whatever you want to call it. Now you want to get all shy. In a minute, he'll be like, well, I'm going to invoke my Fifth Amendment right. Honey, this isn't courtroom. This isn't Judge Judy. Go on and spill the tea.
At what point did they become deceased?
I need to see a calendar to sometime August 2017.
When did they become deceased? I need to see a calendar to be able to sometimes, August 17th. He knew exactly when. He is so nervous, and good for him. He should be.
And did they die at your hand? That's the question.
Right. I'll have to leave it for that statement.
But that's not in the statement. And I think it's important for people to know what happened to your parents.
Right.
They were your parents. You loved them. They were deteriorating. What did you do?
I will...
Don't tell me you're going to leave it to the statement, because it's not in the statement.
I know.
What did you do to your parents?
My goal is for the American people to recognize that there's 40 million boomers. They're all going to go through the same kind of problems. Mm-hmm. It affects all of us, and we need to widen up the law so that people can deal with these kind of problems in a humane way, in a whatever way that people can deal with.
Stop right there. There's 40 million. Did he say 40 million boomers? The fact that he said boomers, honey, please, right? I'm just like, dude, you're going to go before Congress?
I'd like to come here and talk to y'all about my my boomer policy that I'm trying to implement.
A bunch of boomers there, right? Not the right crowd. This is not how you go about selling this. But also listening to it, I'm like, what are we getting into? Are we talking about just like mass, let's say, getting rid of people at a certain age? And we need to do the law. We need to do this, because he's masking this as like and again, it's low key. Now, I haven't read the thing. I can't find it yet. So who knows by the time you see this. He's masking this as a low key, like, people should be able to like expand the law and take this into their own hands. But I'm like, you're giving gas chamber, right? Like, on a massive scale. This is going somewhere else than that conversation. Because I don't know if any of y'all have ever watched, and let me know if you have. gut wrenching. It's some of these where I'm like, why did I scroll into this? Of people who are basically making this decision of, hey, I had a full life. I had this horrible diagnosis. This is going to be terrible. I don't want my family to deal with it. We're going to take this into our own hands. And that ceremony, and they've chosen to put it on whatever. The first time I stumbled upon that, y'all, it makes me want to cry right now. The dog sat on her chair. I can't, okay? But I mean, hey, I get it. You know what I'm saying? This doesn't feel like that. And I know I've said it 100 times over, but I'll probably keep saying it. This is something different going on here. And I love how scared he is. I'm getting an unhealthy amount of pleasure in how scared he is.
And I did my duty to my parents.
So you ended their lives.
I won't.
You're saying that without actually saying that word. I want to hear you say that word. You
Yes.
ended their lives.
I have to
give them mercy, you're saying.
I have to plead my Fifth Amendment rights until I can disclose it with my statement there.
Did you have any concern that whatever you did was wrong?
I would never have done such a thing if I ever did it, knowing it's wrong.
What a coward. That's exactly what it is. Oh, I don't want to do this. And it's like, but why are you here? This is my thing. Why are you here then? Why are you here trying to prove a point and you want to backpedal on it? You already killed him years ago. And then we'll learn more about this as more comes out, because when he describes the way he killed him, I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm going down the rabbit hole in my mind of like, what if the mother really did ask, or the father, or whoever, the way that he describes it, he killed him in a minute. What if they really did ask that of, this is what we want to do? You know, and again, that's absolutely not the way you go about it, right? I mean, can you imagine? For this very reason, why would you do that? Especially if they weren't in any level of needing that kind of care yet. Because the way he talks about it, if you listen to it, when he's like, well, mom took a fall, and then, you know, and her face is bruised, and and I'm like, okay, but there's varying levels of this disease. Like, how far along are we? You know, why would you choose to make that decision? You know, again, and it almost feels like, because he'll claim about the money here in a bit when we get to it. Oh, it wasn't the money. I was basically donating the money and giving it away. You know, we'll find that out in court. It's almost like the benefit, say they did prove like, oh yeah, he gave their Social Security away or whatever. It's almost like the benefit was attention and political for him more than other things.
So you believe what you did was right. You believe taking your parents' lives was the right thing to do for their sake.
If I did it, absolutely that.
If I did it, can't roll my damn eyes hard enough.
My concern for their misery was paramount.
Mm-hmm.
It was a huge burden to have to face this coming up.
These are the little mini confessions right here. Again, one of those other channels that they're experts in this body language and confession, all that type of stuff. Deception Detective, we need him on this one right here. I need to go look at his channel, see if he's done that. As soon as I said it, I was like, I haven't checked in with him lately. We need to see him. Some of these situations that go on, they'll tell you if you listen to it and you listen to between the words, right? And this right here is going to be a big burden. Okay, so there you go. Like, that's what my thought is. Like, they could have been declining, and they could have been doing this and that. And I don't know. I get the vibe that he was living with them, but I could be wrong. Maybe he wasn't. Regardless if he wasn't, there's an energy that he was looking after them, and that in his world, this was going to be some major burden, and it was easier to just kill them. That's pretty much what I think the simplicity of it is. And then over time, he used it to be a political thing, because basically he has to cook up a story as to why he did this, and then went silent about it, right? Because if it was like, I did this, I mean, clearly nobody wants to get caught doing something like that. So it's like, okay, well, why? Because I was going to say, well, if you did this as a mercy thing, then why don't you just turn yourself in right away? It's like, well, Paul, because he doesn't want to go to prison, right? Hello. But also, if it was politically motivated and all that kind of stuff, well, then why wouldn't you go ahead and do it and be like,
Hi, I, Mr. Lorenz Kraus, have made myself a martyr today by taking the lives of my parents. I want a full press conference when I turn myself in.
You see what I mean? Like, no, he just kept going on with life and trying to get away with it until I guess he couldn't, or whatever.
Or this is you need to know this in a way that was,
Your parents asked you to kill them or to take their lives in a merciful fashion?
I think they want me to take responsibility for things.
They asked you to take their lives, to do what they couldn't do?
Implicitly, but not explicitly.
Okay, number one, I think they wanted me to take responsibility for things. Aligning this with this previous statement of the burden, this, that, and the other. They wanted me to take responsibility. It was going to be a burden. You see all these like keywords and themes of like, yeah, this is going to be a lot. Let's just go on out back. You see what I'm saying? That's the energy. Now he tells you right here, this is another truth. I believe this. They didn't tell me explicitly. Boom. His parents did not sit down and say, baby, mama's, coming down with this. It's not going to be pretty, okay? I want you to smother your father. Let me live for a few hours and then smother me. That's the best thing here, okay? No. Also put yourself in that situation. If this is me and it was like, son, you're going to have to take daddy out back. I broke my leg and I don't want to go on with the cast no more. There's like a million things I would rather do before I said smother me with a rope or a pillow or whatever, right? More painless ways. I'd be like, well, look, just take me out in the old truck with the old hose, or here, give me a whole handful of those pills. Something more humane, I guess you could say, than smothering. It also is so personal. So not only is he asking us to believe that the parents wanted this done, but then it's something so personal as suffocation, right? Like to me, that's an intimate way of killing someone. You're feeling their body convulse. You're sitting there, you're going through all this stuff, as opposed to here's this cocktail I made up, or here's a hose in a car in a garage. You see where I'm going with this? Like there's so many other things that could have taken place. And that's where I'm like, no, this seems like I was over it and snapped and didn't want anything to do with this and got a lot of pleasure out of watching them die, right? And then collecting their money, right? Remember always the money, right? They want to dance around the money part, always the money.
The context of all this became to bear on me.
Did one parent, did your mom or your dad more so than the other, ask you to take their lives?
They didn't explicitly say that, but they made it clear that they were going downhill.
They didn't explicitly say that. They made it clear they were going downhill. It was becoming too much for me. The context was becoming too much. So you see how overwhelmed he is in this thing right here? And trust me, I get it. It doesn't take much for me. Walking and chewing gum, I might have an anxiety attack, right? That's the heart of this. This was too much and he flipped and killed them, and there was other benefits to it as well, and then he turned it political. I think the political thing that he went on, it came afterwards. That was his justification. I think he flipped, whatever it was, and did this. I'm going to cosplay the dad talking to him as if he doesn't live there. So the dad's like, son, we're going downhill. Your mom's not what she used to be. You're going to need to move in with us and look after us. And he was like, oh my God, when will I play video games? When will I do this? When will I do that? I won't have time to do. You 100% know that this was some dude that was like, and I don't know what these worlds are called, but like somebody who lives online and like has built up some like online persona, like a troll. You know what I'm saying? Like a catfish troll kind of vibe. 100%. What's that virtual reality thing that people do? Like one of those things where he thinks he's some big bad person, but he's this one of those type people, right? I'm not saying everybody that does a virtual reality thing is that, but like one of the people who's like unhinged and does it, like this guy.
When it actually happened, when your parents died, did they know it was happening to them?
Oh yeah.
And they knew it was at your hand?
Well, yes, no one else's.
Right. So they realized what you were doing to them as it happened.
Yes.
They knew that this was it for them, that they were perishing at your hand.
Yes. And it was so quick.
And it was so quick. He's so awkward. There you go. Bless their hearts. That was their last thing here on earth. My son is killing me with a rope or a pillow, whatever he did it with. And then he's on here on the news trying to grift off of it. Let's just call it what it is.
Were there drugs involved? Was
no.
there a suffocation? You suffocated them? You suffocated your parents.
Yeah.
The way he's like, were there drugs involved? I would have been, not that I wouldn't have been okay with it, but just like I said, if it was, yeah, you know what? We had research, we made a cocktail up. Yeah, you just drink it, you go to sleep, you don't wake back up. It was very peaceful place. Now, I don't personally know, thank God, hope to never, what somebody looks like or goes through when they are physically being held down and suffocated. But based on what I have seen and the cases that we do, and then like, well, scary movies, but I know those are fake. It's a horrible way to go. Think about like, you know that feeling when you're underwater and you've gone too deep and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to catch my breath. That's a horrible feeling. Imagine you're elderly and you're in bed and you're going through your mind of my kid, grown adult son, is killing me. What worse thing to go through? You know, what a horrible transition to leave this earth in. You know, whether you believe in ghosts and stuff like that or not, like if you were like so good on the path that you believe in ghosts, okay? Like this is a scenario in the way that you die that would make me think would make you haunt something, right? Because it's such an unfinished business and like such a tragic way to leave and such a like shock to the soul of being like, whoa, this is, you know, whatever. And if I was them, I would haunt the living ish out of his house. Honey, let me tell you what, I'd find my way if I was their ghost. Once he's in prison, wherever he goes, honey, I'd make my way. You'd have to get the jaws of life to get my spirit out of his damn cell. Okay, I'm talking middle of the night rattling those bars. I'm talking pulling the blanket off him. I'm talking straight up Poltergeist Part for the prison edition.
Did you suffocate first?
My father, and after he died, my mother put her head on his chest, and she was there for a few hours, and then I finished her.
I finished her. If that is true, that is horrible, because you know what the immediate vision I got is that he was like this. He was like, okay, mom, you've got a few hours with dad and you're next. Like she knew, I mean, obviously, right? At this point, like he could just kill the father. Like whatever really went down, she knew she's next. And you see the way he was like, and I finished her. It's giving Anthony Todd also, right? But Anthony Todd was at least more confident. Not that I'm saying that's a good thing, but it's interesting to see the different level of perpetrator or whatever you call it, where Anthony's like, yeah, it is what it is. You know, yeah, it was a purple passion pie with Benadryl pie, whatever you want to call it. You know, yeah, she totally did that to herself. Whereas he's just fallen all over himself.
You call it a grave? You bury them in the backyard? You see it as a grave?
Well, I bury them, and I put a thing around my mother's grave, and and I planted a peach tree next to her, and I put that there.
Dude is creepy AF. Okay, this dude is, and I'm not even saying because of, like, even before we get to the murder and the grave and all that, dude is creepy. Imagine like you're doing an Uber and he's your driver. Like you would instantly get chills, right? You know, like some people who they give you that feeling. You know, oftentimes, like think of these dudes and sometimes ladies too. I bet Jodi Arias is like this with her eyes. The first person that comes to my mind is Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, where these people have those eyes, like dead eyes, whatever you want to call it, where there's like nothing behind them. And oftentimes they're just like black, almost like there's no people. It's just like this thing, right? And I can't remember if Jodi has that or not. I don't think she does. I felt like she has kind of like I'm a brown eye, but anyways, I mean, this dude doesn't have that, but this dude just has that off. Like you can tell, you know what I'm saying? Like one thing that I find interesting about the human experience and whatnot is how we're in tune to just sense some things and sometimes not, right? But your spidey sense kind of takes over. And there's like, and oftentimes that feeling of, I don't know what it is about this situation or this person or whatever, but it doesn't feel right. You know, or that implicit, like, I feel in danger near this person. Get me out of here. We got to go. You know, that type of thing. He, to me, feels that way. When someone is this socially anxious, I'm a socially anxious person. You might be like, Paul, are you serious? Whatever. Especially if you met me at CrimeCon or whatever. I don't seem like it, but y'all, trust me, I am. That's why I sit in a pretend living room and talk to a camera. But this dude would make me nervous in the way he talks, because he's so nervous. And I'm like, dude, you are spreading that energy. And then if he started talking about any sort of like weird stuff, it would just freak me out.
Did they struggle as you did it?
I would say the last minute, no. But they're, you know, I think my father died very quickly, like surprisingly quickly. That shocked me. And then, you know, the part with my mother, that went quickly too.
They suffered. Okay, they suffered. His first answer was, Not in the last minute. Well, no ish, Sherlock, right? My dad died quickly. That shocked me. He's also watching it in his mind. You can tell he's looking off and he's so nervous describing it. But also look at what the news director or the reporter, news director, I'm just making stuff up. That might be a real position though. Look at how he's pulled this off. We start off at, I didn't do that. Please refer to the Not-Manifesto. Right here, he's like, well, yeah, he died pretty quickly. I was really shocked about that. Mom went fast too. I mean, I'm just like, this dude, they need to get this dude in. They need to bring him in for the next little confession.
If somebody died in their home, she would say, great, the person died with their boots on, instead of going to a hospital and going through a meat processing factory kind of thing.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Many people would rather die at home. I get that. Not at the hands of their son.
When you were doing this, did you think about the financial ramifications, the fact that you would continue to take their government money?
Once that happens, then what do you do?
What do? You got to take the money at that point. I mean, come on. I mean, I didn't really want to, but you got to take it.
But I gave away, I didn't play with the money, I gave it away. I didn't enrich myself.
Does that justify what you did?
No, but this is not a kill for money case, is important to say.
So yeah, I didn't enrich myself, and I love that. Does that justify what you did? No, but yes. Okay, who knows if we can see proof that he really gave the money away or not. But this isn't a kill for money. This isn't a that. Again, I just think he didn't want to take care of them. And I think maybe they did have a conversation. Maybe he saw the writing on the wall and something took place and he killed them. And then everything else fell into place. And then he cooked up this whole political rant after the fact.
So they wouldn't have to suffer. And of course, the ancient Greeks always believed in dying on the battlefield rather than dying, in a bag of bones, like a bag of bones. So, culturally, America is totally...
They didn't die on a battlefield, though. It sounds like they died in their beds with a pillow over their faces.
I mean, honestly, God bless the reporter for calling that out right there. But you see the world. What's interesting and also psychotic, listen to the world this dude is living in. He's cooking up all this stuff, this theoretical stuff. And it's like, honey, you suffocated your parents in their bed. Period. End of story. You can talk about some Roman Greeks over here. You can talk about America, this, that. You killed your parents in their bed and kept collecting their checks and buried them in the yard. That's just the base of it, right? But again, he doesn't want to say that. He doesn't want to admit that.
You're confident in what you said and clear of mind as you say all this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would appreciate. I hope that you could put this on YouTube, the whole thing.
I'm sure we'll put this on. And are you ready to face the consequences now with the police and the authorities?
Yes, but I would like the American people to also read my statement so that everybody can have something to appeal to on it.
This is the most giddy I've seen him. I hope you put it on YouTube. Well, Merry effing Christmas. Here we are, right? You got your wish, sadly. Now, the sweet part of this, the sweet karma, is him realizing that this didn't land the way that he wanted it to, so to speak. He's thinking, I can do this, I can do that, I can will and do. No. Okay, he is just viewed upon as a common murderer.
Yeah, basically, I had to bury them.
Was the burial to cover up your crime? You didn't want to be found out.
Right, of course. What to do?
Exactly. So if this was some kind of we're going to start a discussion, why hide it? Why hide it for so long? This is what the story he's cultivated over the years.
It's a horrible situation to be in. Many other people are going to face it.
But are other people going to take the same actions you took?
Probably not, because they don't have the same kind of sense of duty to their parents as I did.
Oh yeah, he's way down that rabbit hole. He smoked. He has convinced himself of this. Convinced himself. Now that's how it started. Let's look at a few clips of how it ended.
The people have the power to reassume the powers of government whensoever it is necessary to their happiness. And one of my goals was to create a board of trustees for New York State. And to create that initial trustee, someone needs to know what to do. So I'm making the claim that I'm the initial trustee of the New York State Board of Trustees, and they would have prosecutorial immunity. And so I appeal to that as having prosecutorial, immunity for this case.
It's pretty much a certainty that's not going to happen.
It's giving Daryl Brooks. Y'all, I'm calling it now. This dude will probably take this to trial to prove a point. You are looking at the next Daryl Brooks. Will he be as confident as Daryl Brooks? No, obviously, right? This dude's falling all over himself. But he's going to try and go down that path. I'm calling it right now. What is it called? Is it sovereign citizens? Is that what it's called? That Daryl Brooks claimed he was or whatever? Because I was going to be the head of the board of trustees. What? What are you talking about? Have they not gotten him on some damn Thorazine or something yet in there? I mean, y'all, legit, no, this is all broken.
You also talked about wanting to be tried under German law.
Well, ancient German law, yes.
Is that still something you're looking for?
I would ask for it.
Oh yeah, like I said, 100% Daryl Brooks, 100% cooked, 100% smoked, 100% down whatever rabbit hole he's gone down.
They're not happy with what they heard from you yesterday, that they think it was a cold-blooded crime. Do you understand people thinking that way?
I'm glad you gave me that feedback.
I'm glad you gave me that feedback, aka, oh, let me start working on another narrative. Now that he's like, oh, okay, that's the feedback I'm getting. Well, let me change it around. And that's exactly what he'll do. So those are all the clips that I want to review. Again, you've heard my opinion throughout. I'm curious your opinion. Number one, is it giving Daryl Brooks? Number two, do you think that we're going to see like the next over-the-top trial come out of this dude? This is already over the top. Like I said, this is all optional. This whole thing that he did of doing this whole dramatic thing of going to the news thing, he didn't have to do that. He wants attention and he is getting it. And it's going to bite him in the butt because he's thinking that he can do all this stuff. Oh, I can do this, I can do that, and he's finding out the hard way. No, it's not going to go that way at all. So if you're still watching, I do appreciate you very, very much. If you could drop your thoughts, opinions, all that fun stuff off in the comment section. And while you're down there, drop some little pillows, little sofas off for Roscoe and Spirit, Bo and Luke, and you, the Sofa Squad, who makes the channel possible. It wouldn't be here without you. I'm grateful and very thankful. Don't forget to like and subscribe so we can try and get the channel to 155K. Woo-hoo-hoo. Thank y'all very much. And until we gather down in the comment section to go over all that stuff we just talked about, I'll see y'all soon.
I just wanted to say thank you again for watching the whole video, and also thank you for being part of the Sofa Squad. Special thanks to all the Patreon members, channel members from both of my channels, everybody who likes, shares, subscribes, comments in the comment sections. It helps the channel out so much. Now don't forget, I do have that other channel, the podcast channel. That's where we go live, we hang out, we talk. We have kind of sort of a schedule, but just be sure and check it out. I'll put it up here on the screen. And then like I said in the beginning of the video, if you want to follow me and Roscoe on the Instagram, go on, check it out. It's right here on the screen again. But once again, thank you very much. I really appreciate you being part of the Sofa Squad, and I'll see you in the next video.
Hey, welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup that hey, come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough.